Hello and welcome to an album a day, day 383. It has been a crazy last week and a half or so since I've been able to record, just so much on my plate. But interesting tip for you guys who are looking for your vinyl records. There were a couple that I happened to see on eBay, and I got really excited because the release that they showed in the picture, it looked like the album was out of the packaging, and you had the cover art, and then you had the album all in the same picture. And I got excited because I have not seen those releases before, and so but I thought, boy, both of the pictures look very similar, like they were taken exactly the same way, which would be okay because I kind of do mine the same way, but they looked a little too perfect, and I thought, well, I better just double check these. And I looked up the UPCs that were posted in the description for both of them, and they are a completely different release than the ones that they had in the picture. Different record company, different release completely. So be really careful of that. Double check all the things that you can. You can look up most of the UPCs on Discogs and find it. Interestingly, though, there was another one that had that said it was from one record company, but had a sticker on the front that clearly stated it was from another record company. So they're not taking pictures of the stuff that they're selling you. They're getting stock photos of those things and using that as the profile picture for the auction. So make sure that you're reading the descriptions. Make sure that you're really paying attention to what you're getting. Interestingly, even in the description, they had the wrong record company. So that it was in the title, it was in the description, but the picture showed it was something completely different. I reached out to them to verify which one it was, and they never even wrote me back. I checked the auction about a few days later, and they had not updated it. So be real careful about what you're getting. Typically on Discogs, they're a little more accurate because a lot of them are actual record sellers. That's what they do. They're vendors. So you're more likely to get the right thing there. Also, the listings can be very specific. Now, they can be wrong. I've made mistakes and listed my albums incorrectly, and gone back and double checked it and went, oh yeah, I have it under this release. It actually was this release. Sometimes there's duplicate releases on there. So, but they're a lot more likely to be accurate. They're more likely to give a realistic description and an explanation of their grading, that sort of thing. I'm grading it this, but I really think it's this. I'm just being cautious because there's a visual scratch on it or whatever, but I played it, it plays fine. There's no crackles. So I can't say it's, near mint because visually there's a scratch in it, but it plays like it's near mint. And they'll tell you things like that. So really pay attention to what you're getting. eBay, I've gotten a lot of great deals on eBay. I've gotten screwed equally on both eBay and Discogs. With Discogs, it's usually been international sellers dealing with the shipping and customs and that, not even necessarily their fault. One of them was definitely their fault, but you get what you get. But and you have to wait so long for it. In fact, I'm in a dispute right now on a sale that's been going since October. So sometimes that happens, but you can get some great deals on eBay. Discogs is probably going to cost you a little bit more because it's more accurate pricing, but you're probably going to get a more accurate record. So anyway, just something to think about. But today we're going back to the Well of Uriah Heep remastered deluxe edition CDs. This one came out in 2008. It is from Europe, and we are back to Sanctuary, but Sanctuary Noise this time, which is kind of weird. And I'm talking about the album Wake the Sleeper. I love this cover. This is a really cool cover. It feels like it's kind of mossy, doesn't it? Like with that color of green. Hopefully that's showing up well on the camera. But I really, really like that. And on the back, you get a continuation of that. It's beautiful artwork, absolutely beautiful. I don't know if they took a picture of this statue and then did some work on it digitally, because I think by the time this album came out, you would have had some digital tools available. But of course, if you take a picture of it, you could use the film strip and, like George Lucas did. So lots of options. But yeah, it's very interesting because the statue itself looks realistic. Everything else looks painted. And I find that very, very interesting. But I love the cover of this one. I would love this in a vinyl. Hint. Back again, the same list of songs. We do not have the band name up in the top, even though it's Sanctuary. It's not Sanctuary Midline, so there is that. Book is very thin, incredibly thin, in fact. For one of these remastered releases, we've seen, they'll put in descriptions of the bonus track, information, quotes from the band, that sort of stuff. But all we get, just the picture. Just a picture. I did not look to see if there was another Sanctuary release with Midline or not. This is the one that I happened to get, so that's what we have. But yeah, I just love that cover so much. Oh, I don't think I showed you. Let me get it in here. With one page, it's actually kind of hard to get these lined up sometimes. Another nice picture of the band right there. Almost the current lineup. The only difference is that Dave Rimmer is not in the band yet, but everyone else is still in the band as of today. Have not heard an update on Mick Box. Looks like the touring is continuing. Wishing Mick speedy recovery from whatever you're going through. Hopefully you'll be back on stage before you know it. The CD, absolutely phenomenal. Probably one of the best looking CDs. Again, it doesn't have that, film cover over it that, they pick one color and wash it over with this. So again, a little bit different for Sanctuary, but I actually really like this. It's very vibrant, nice coloring. And then on the back, we do not get the reel because they might have been even recording on ADAT by this point, but we get that lovely image. So lots of cool stuff. I'm going to read you the track list, of course. Now, this was an album that when I covered it on the podcast, completely unfamiliar with, but really, really enjoyed covering the songs on this one. I got to tell you about a Uriah Heep auction, but let me tell you the songs first. So we open with Wake the Sleeper, the title track. Our next track looks like, boy, I can't read them. It's in a really weird font. And of course, I haven't gotten my new glasses yet, so I am at a bit of a disadvantage and not listed anywhere else. Okay, so I'm just going to try and get through these song titles the best I can. Sorry if I butcher them a little bit, guys. But we have, Wake the Sleeper, Overlord, Tears of the World, Light of 1,000 Stars, Heaven's Rain, Book of Lies, What Kind of God, Ghost of the Ocean, Angels Walk with You, Shadow, and War Child. As I recall, I don't think there were bonus tracks available for this one. And it could be because they just wrote enough for the album and everything worked and they didn't have a bunch of extra material. Maybe they didn't finish songs that were, enough to release. Because typically what I've noticed is while they did, a little bit in the way of outtakes, pretty much everything was a song, like a completed song. So it very well could have been that they just didn't have anything else that was completed. It could have been that they weren't found. It could be that they weren't of quality, like a mixed quality, or didn't have the master tracks that they could deliver for this release. So it could have been a lot of different things, but as I recall, there were no bonus tracks. Nothing is listed as a bonus track. That explains a little bit about how thin the book is, but usually there's some quotes from Mick or somebody talking about what was going on at the time. But yeah, there's really nothing on this one. Very interesting, but it's a great album. So guys, there was an auction for, which album was it now? It must have been, it was Sea of Light, which I love. It's got Mistress of All Time. Come on, it's an amazing album. And I think it was only like $40 or something, near mint condition, full vinyl. I'm like, this is going to be crazy. I cannot wait to see how this closes. I'm like, I set a certain amount I was willing to spend. I'm like, I'm not saying it's not going to be a good deal, but I can't really justify spending that kind of money on an album. So I was going to bid it up to 110. That was as far as I was going to go. But by the time I went to do that, it was already up to like 250. And I think it closed around somewhere over 250. I can't remember off the top of my head, but I'm like, yeah, this escalated quickly. It went up really fast. So hopefully we will see some re-releases of some of these albums, guys. I don't know if they'll be in a picture disc form. That would be cool. Don't know who has the rights, who can do what. But I've reached out to a couple of people to pursue that line of possibly getting some re-releases of vinyl on some of these albums. I still make the same argument that I did with Deep Purple, even on a limited run, say 500 to 2,500, depending on where they put the demographic for this release. But even 500, I have to think there are enough collectors or completists that would buy these albums. I mean, if people are willing to pay $250 for an open album, even though, original pressings, granted, they have a certain value to them, I would have to think that there's at least 500 people that would want to grab a copy of it and just have it on vinyl, even if it's a reissue. I have to think that. Same with Bananas, which sells for, up to $700. So, and I actually have seen it sell for 700, not just post for 700. There's a big difference between those two things. But yeah, I was disappointed I didn't obtained the copy, but at the same point I was like, I just can't justify that for a record. I really can't. I mean, I'm sure the resale value would be great, but I don't plan on reselling, so that's not really a thing for me. But in any case, someone walked away with a steal because there's only one other copy. I think it's $1,099 on eBay, and the last time I checked, there were no copies available on Discogs. So, killer deal for somebody, even at $250. So anyway, thank you guys for listening. No bonus episodes of the Hask and Cast podcast this week. We are back on regular schedule. Today, the episode I released, well, this will come out tomorrow. So yesterday, the episode that I released was going back to the old Colorado Springs underground hard rock and heavy metal scene with some independent bands that never really got to see the light of day, unfortunately, and there's some really good original material. So I'm going to be covering those bands every once in a while, including a couple that I was in. So it should be a lot of fun. Anyway, we'll see you guys in the next episode. Cheers.